All right, welcome back, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Appalachian Grit. I'm Tor, your host, as usual, through the other videos. Sorry my voice is not as cool and smooth as the one in use my voiceover, but today I just wanted to talk to you about where not necessarily all, but all of my stuff comes from Scripture itself. But where I get a lot of my insights is from a body of work I've been working on for quite a while. It's a dissertation I completed earlier this year or last year, within the last year or so. It's called The Great Harmonizing of All of Scripture, just so anybody's curious. And I do intend to make it public at some point. And the title of it should be self-explanatory, but I would like to give you just a gist, a background on what it is and what the intention of it is. Which, if you don't know, then well, stick around. We're gonna get into it, I guess. The whole intent was to take all of Scripture. You know, first you got to go through how did we get our Bible. What books were originally in it, what books have been taken out of it, why were they taken out of it, and by whom. Once you get through all of that, and then you go back to, well, what about in the time of Jesus? What did they consider Scripture? And then you start going through all of that, and then you start going down the rabbit hole, which you can do on your own, you know, or maybe we'll do a video on that at some point. But others greater than I have and probably will be doing videos on it. Either way, the great harmonizing of all of Scripture is to do something that I haven't seen anybody do. And the whole motivation behind it was to answer questions that I had, because I wanted to know. I needed to know. I mean, just like you read all these things, and some of them seem like, you know, on their face, like confusing, or like, well, what the shit's this, or what the hell? This sounds like this, but this is now talking like this. Like, where the hell are we going from here? What good is this to me? It's not actionable. And so I started diving into precedents and getting the root definitions of especially symbolic or, you know, image related imagery. End times imagery, eschatological imagery. You know, Revelation uses a lot of it. A lot of it, as you know, probably comes from Daniel or whatnot. I started compiling it using the oldest precedents possible, which these aren't new methods or anything. I've just never heard anybody do it. And the only difference, really, that, well, not the only, but one of the differences that separates me from the rest is I stick to Scripture only. Like, I do not take eisegetical man-made crap thrown in after the fact as all of a sudden supposed to trump what the clearly written words are because they missed something in the text, or they weren't using a full deck. Like, would you ever go play poker? Ask yourself, would you ever go play poker with a half a deck? Absolutely effing not. No, you'd go there with every dang card you could so you had the best dang chance at winning. And that's the same thing with Scripture. We need to do our diligence as to what was Scripture to the Israelites before they were finally scattered. And the last Israelites were the Judeans, which were Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And obviously mixtures of this and that, but Judeans scattered. The other 10 tribes, generally speaking, were already scattered. Many hundred years before. You gotta need to know the truth. You need to have it in you in order to seek it, in order to be able to find it ultimately. And unfortunately, folks, it's not that easy to find. I wish it were. And maybe if I get to it, I mean, it's hard to do. It's hard to do anything off grid like I'm at. But my body of work serves for specific purposes. I'm used to not having access to good internet or active service to online or Google or crap like which Google sucks, folks. That is the worst. And AI, don't even get me started. Oh, I hate when those comments come in. That's why I put it in front of my videos. You look at my last like 10 videos, I'm not AI, you MFer. Anyways, it's to prove a damn point because I don't want that detractor to take away from the message. Like, I put a lot of effort into what I'm saying because if you listen to the root of my message and listen to every single message I make, it's for you, like you. Because I know if I was in your position, that's exactly what I needed somebody like me and mine to be saying to you. And it's exactly what I needed to hear. What I need and what most people need is practicality in our faith. We don't need more fluffy words. We don't need more sugar on top of our rot. Our mouth's rotten teeth. We don't need any more of that crap. What we need is sound doctrine. We need to cut the damn rotten teeth out, stop the bullshit, and start actually learning to eat meat with whatever teeth we got left and start walking the walk. I mean, folks, if you don't sense it, if you don't see it, I mean, this world, it's already hell in a handbasket, let alone a shit show. I mean, come on, man. You need true faith now more than ever. And Christians just drop the ball. No, it's worse. It's like dropping soap in prison. I've never been. But the military where I was at was probably just as bad. But anyways, the point is nobody's stepping up and doing the damn thing that needs to be done. We need people to live by faith, be an example for us to follow. And you know, this comes back to what I needed. If I ever had a man like me in my younger years. All right, I'm in my 30s, so imagine if I was in my teens or 20s or something. I've always craved an elder. I always craved that my father would be a righteous man to guide me right. And they never did. He never did. Nobody ever did. I never had anybody as an example. And the only thing I knew about the Bible was what Christianity gave me as a straw man. And that is goddamn unfortunate. Because this is the only lens people view God from is through you. Please let that sink in. This is why I'm here trying to make your faith more real and actionable to you. Because you're keeping people from God, folks. You're not doing what's required of you in Scripture. I'm trying not to get on a high horse here, but God damn it, man. You people, you shut up the way. Go watch my other videos and you'll see exactly what I mean, and I can do it a lot more eloquently with a nice, eloquent voiceover. But this is what you get when you've got me, okay? I love you. Patient as I can be, but shut up. If you ain't walking it out according to the definition, according to the actual example set for us, shut up. Please, well, it ain't for your sake. You don't give a shit about anybody but yourself, obviously. For the sakes of those who are trying to follow and can't find the path and they stumble across your dumbass. You Christians should not be the example of how to get to God. Follow Christ's example for Christ's sake. I say that. I'm trying not to get pissed because I'll chuck this damn phone and it's the only one I've got. I left Christianity because of you people. And it's you people that give us a bad name. Which is why I hate the damn term Christian. Because it's not biblical anyways. We're called to be Israelites, grafted in through faith or by blood, whichever. Whether you're a natural branch or a foreign wild branch, you're still grafted or regrafted in. Because once Christ came, He's the one that made the way, the truth, and the life. He's the only way to the Father, and He's the King of Israel. So it's time we start acting like what we're supposed to be, and that's Israelites. And you Christians think you got some easy path to this or that, and fake Jews over there somewhere, they've got a different path. I mean, come the hell on, dude. Does that make any sense? Do those people look like holy effing people to you? If you knew the truth of it, what their religion actually is, let me ask you this. You should know by now what Freemasonry is, right? The same way that Freemasonry holds up the Bible, I was going to grab it, but I've got too many bullets on top of it. Hold up the Bible. Let's just say my hand's a Bible, huh? The same way Freemasonry holds up the Bible. Don't mind my dirty ass hands. I got some shit to do today, huh? Getting to it. It's the same way Judaism holds up the Bible. And no, I'm not talking about the New Testament. I'm talking about the Old Testament. But they hold up the Old Testament, but don't do what it says. They don't actually keep the words therein. They redefine the term Torah to mean Mishnah, and then they talk about the Talmud, they talk about the Zohar, and they talk about the Kabbalah. Do you understand that Kabbalah is the root of all Satanism and all Luciferian religions? Which, I'll give you a little wisdom. Satanism is simply worship anything other than God, which is usually yourself in some regard or fashion or form. Luciferianism is the promise. It's the worship of the promise from Satan to Adam and Eve in the garden that you can become a god without the Almighty's approval. Let that sink in. I just told you the truth that this video is probably never getting out. We're at 12 minutes now-ish. Luciferianism, and this is what your governments are. This is what your pastors are all part of, whether they realize it or not. If they went through seminary, if they're Freemasons or part of any government, any sort of hierarchical structure that's institutionalized in this world, they're part of it. And it is what it is, man. Because the mark's coming, and I'm telling you, you're all going to want to take it because it's going to offer you a lot of solutions. What it is, it's the fulfillment of Satan's promise in the garden. But it's just as much a lie now as it was then. And I'll get into it another time, but I talk about my occult stuff. I've seen some shit. And if the word shit offends you, well, maybe the Bible using the word ass offends you too. And I don't give a shit. So, go be a ninny somewhere else, huh? But realistically, folks, forget where I was going with that. All of it's related. Satan's plan for us, which is why Christians need to stop talking so much. They need to take a step back. Start being what they're supposed to be, which is what I talk about in all my videos. You got to be Israelites. Because that's what we're called to. And it doesn't matter what race, color, or creed you're from. It might have mattered back in the day, but not really. If you go look at the precedents laid out for Scripture, God, our Father, the Father of Christ, has always honored anybody of any nation that ever, throughout all time, that wanted to take hold of His covenant and draw near to Him. And He accepted their sacrifices on His altar. And the same is promised for those of us now. That's why Jesus came, to graft in the rest of the people that were faithful within the nations. And we're all supposed to be grafted in just like before, same thing with now, into the nation of Israel. Why? Because it's never been about a blood descendancy, a blood lineage. Yes, you can claim this or that, and the truth matters, but it's not it's not the actual inheritance. The inheritance is for those who are the Israel of God defined for us in Scripture. You know, this is what I say. Because people, oh, goodness gracious. The only thing thicker than blood, or the only thing stronger than blood, you know how people say, blood is thicker than, I don't know. Anyways, spirit. The spirit's the only thing stronger than the bond of blood. Meaning, you and me, like if you're Irish and Scottish, you and me may be kin. But if you're not following my master and you don't worship my Father, then you and I aren't kin. But there can be, I don't know, somebody from Nicaragua or whatever, and he could be doing it diligently. He's my brother. He's my kin. And that's just the truth, folks. You know? It really is. It's a matter of what's inside you. What is in here? What makes you tick? Do you strive to please him? Do you strive for perfection? Or are you just happy in your complacency? Do you understand? Like, I'm not sinless. I cannot stand when I sin. But you people make it a thing, like it's just okay. It's just par for the course, like I should be okay with it. When I'm promised I'm never supposed to do it again. I haven't put all my faith in the spiritual things of God for me to just be accepting of shit like that. Neither should you be. For Christ's sake, folks, wake this shit up and stop listening to these fools. The commandments aren't grievous. Keep them. They're easy. Don't kill people. Don't adulter your neighbor's wife. Don't freaking bear false witness against your neighbor, and don't steal his shit. Also keep his Sabbath day holy. How hard is that? People say, oh, well, that's impossible. They couldn't. No, what they're talking about is keeping the man-made doctrines created by the Pharisees. The reason the letter of the law kills, but the Spirit is what Jesus Christ came to make righteous again, to show us the way. That's what the word fulfill means. To make full, to show us the fullness thereof. Shit, I'm 17 minutes into this. All right, I got to tone it down. I don't even know how I got this far. All right. Well, shit, this is what happens when I don't write a script, but you guys bitch about my voiceovers saying, AR this and that. What do you say now? Anyways, you can disagree with me. Leave it in the comments. I do truly appreciate you, even the detractors. I do. It's all right to disagree. We don't have to agree on everything, but I do think that we should all agree that we should take the words of Scripture seriously. And if you think I'm in error about that we should be keeping the commandments and that the what you call the old covenant is actually not old, but it's waxing old, and that the new covenant is not fully instituted until we actually fulfill the conditions of the new covenant, which is immortality. We're supposed to be made new, never sin again, immortal. Those types of things, which inauguration of it at the wedding supper, covenant, fulfilled Passover, Jesus talking to his disciples before he dies. I don't know, maybe consider such things. Anywho, yeah, this turned out way longer than I thought. Okay. Oh, in case I forgot to say this, I'm Tor. Appalachian Grit. Hope this is beneficial and edifying for you. Truly, ask your questions. I'll get better at this as we go. I'm still learning here. This is my first day, and I'm ready to call tonight. Anyways, sweet dreams.